How you guys doing? Today I wanted to talk about the difference between racism and bias. Um, Racism is the thought process that your race makes you superior and others inferior. And bias is um, stereotypes and preconceived notions that we have about certain people. We all have biases. They're learned consciously and subconsciously through TV and media, but they can also be unlearned. Um, and a big issue is bias in systems throughout our country. When you talk about police reform and the policing system, biases being present in that system have a big effect on our country. Um, Police officers in the United States pull over more than 19 million vehicles annually, which account for majority of contact between citizens and the police force. I was reading a study by Emma Pearson of the Open Policing Project at Stanford University. They researched over 100 million traffic stops over the past 8 years. Research found that Black drivers were stopped 43% more than their white counterparts. And also Black and Latino drivers had their cars searched more than twice than their white counterparts, even though police found drugs and guns at the same rate as Black and or minorities and white people. So obviously the disparities are there, and they did this study. They use a lot of different techniques, but one of the techniques they used was the differences between police pulling people over during the daytime versus nighttime. Obviously the thought process is that at nighttime, you can't really see in the car and who you're pulling over. And it showed that Black people were pulled over at a much lower rate at nighttime. So that's something to think about in eliminating bias in our police system and a bunch of other systems in our country that have an effect on people daily. So that's why I wanted to shed light on today, and we can talk football.
Arik, congratulations on being named a team captain.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. I was wondering when you guys found out, how you found out, and how do you feel about that honor?
Oh, it's a huge honor to be team captain at any level. It's showing how much your teammates believe in you to be a leader on the team, and the expectation to be one of those guys to lead in certain situations and your voice to be heard. And so it's a huge honor for me to have that respect for my teammates, and something we all work hard for. We want to be respected by our peers, so it's definitely a huge honor.
Arik, I know you were part of the group who picked the organizations who got the grants from the team today. What was that process like, and how did you guys go about picking the organizations?
The process was great. I had a lot of fun being able to be. I obviously did it virtually via Zoom, but I had a lot of fun being a member of that group, to be able to hear and listen from the various different organizations, to hear about the issues that they're trying to solve and how they go about doing that. We had a wide variety of organizations, some fighting, police reform. Some were battling, I remember the Innocence Project, so battling against wrongfully accused and incarceration. Some were providing resources to underprivileged youth. Some were focused on getting minority jobs in the tech space, which is huge here in the Bay Area. So it was a wide variety of organizations. So it was great to hear and learn about what they're doing, and hopefully the money that we are, giving them will go a long way. But also, I'm excited about future partnerships with the organization and us as a team being able to work alongside with them and have an impact there too.
Hey, Arik, when you and your teammates were looking at the recipients and the grant applications, what was the process like of you guys working together? Was it something you guys discussed? Did you guys do it more separately? How did that work?
Yeah, so we listened to all the organizations. They got it was kind of like a Shark Tank type situation where they were able to pitch, tell us a little bit about their background and where they're headed, and get to know a little bit of the group. And then we heard everybody out, and then we deliberated as a group on our end and decided about dividing up the money and where things would be funded. So a lot went into those conversations too, in terms of we wanted to learn more about how what access to funds some organizations had and who needed more and who needed less. And in terms of legislation change, a lot of the organizations wanted to have an impact there. And, obviously that takes a lot more capital, a lot more money to create change there. So we thought about that and, we deliberated and, came to a decision.
Arik, your team seems to be comprised of a lot of guys who are very energetic, even to play practice or even to practice or walkthroughs. What is your pregame routine to get fired up, to get amped up? What do you want your mindset to be at kickoff, and how will that be impacted this season or specifically on Sunday without any fans in the stadium?
Yeah, I mean, you're referencing about my specific routine. Yeah, my specific routine, I like to get a good meal, then get my body going. So do some stretching and some of my pre-work treatment to get ready for the game. And then in terms of mindset, I listen to Nipsey Hussle before every game. He talks a lot about working hard and grinding and being motivated, and talks a lot about being a man, and has a lot of confidence. So I like to listen to him before the game, and that usually gets my mind right and prepares me to go out there and take the field.
Arik, as far as I know, and I haven't been researching other players in the league, but do you, as far as you know, are you the only player who is talking about some of these social justice issues with your availabilities? And has anyone else reached out to you regarding that process for advice or indicating they want to do the same thing?
I'm not sure. I haven't really done the research or seen. There could be just a conversation I had a couple of days ago was with a guy who is he's my financial advisor, but he also works with George Hill of the Milwaukee Bucks. And so me and him had a conversation about how Milwaukee was using their platform and, the stance they took to in protest to boycott the game, and a lot of the opportunities George has and the Milwaukee Bucks have of creating change and speaking to people. So me and him had a conversation about how I was using my platform and maybe some ideas of how George could use his or research he was finding and looking through. So that was a recent conversation I had. But in terms of NFL players, I'm not quite sure if other guys are doing something similar. They could be.
Hey, Arik, just when you look at the Cardinals and, you faced them twice last year, Kyler Murray, they've added, DeAndre Hopkins, and they played you guys really tough last season, 2 very competitive games. What do you expect to see from that team on Sunday, and what kind of challenges does that offense pose for you guys?
Yeah, they bring a host of challenges. Obviously, they have talented players. They have a great team. They played us close last year, so I'm sure they'll be confident coming into the game as they should be. I know we'll be confident too and ready for the challenge. But obviously, the quarterback's great. Great at the skill position, and You know, the offensive line is playing, you know, better. So it'll be a great challenge for us. I'm excited and open for it. I know the rest of the guys that I'm playing with are too.